first off, I would just add to the point here because ultimately everybody wants to own a platform. So I think WeChat is a great example of a platform. So not just for fintech and finance, but essentially now, for example, in China, you have banks that are building apps on top of WeChat instead of building their own app. Now, so WeChat, great platform. Another example I would bring up is Robinhood. So Robinhood is a free trading app, so consumers can go in and trade stocks for free, no fees. And now they've opened up their API, and for example, Quantopian, which is algorithmic trading, can now be executed for free on top of Robinhood. So if you have a free trading platform, again, you can imagine in the future you'll have robos on top of that, and potentially then it opens up the question to the asset managers. Well, should they, with their higher cost base, still maintain their existing systems, or should they just give that piece on Robinhood and again boost that platform? But everybody wants a platform, right? So you just need to find what piece of the pie you can have your kind of stake in the ground and have others join your platform. But it's a race, right? So who gets market share at this time is, I think, going to define the competition in the landscape.
Yeah, I think part of it is essentially bridging the gap between, let's say, startup approach, startup mentality, startup technology, and then bank, legacy, big teams, divisions. It's an entirely different world, and how do you bridge that gap? And often we find that banks will have great ideas, they'll have great startups, but when they essentially both sides are willing, even then it's often quite difficult. And so what we try to do then is essentially work on those ideas to make them plausible as concepts for the bank, whether it be from a technical or marketing or point of view or business point of view, and then help them actually integrate whatever technology the startup has into the bank system. So whether it means building outside the bank, adjusting the process, or actually then putting new technology into the bank. So something like credit with peer-to-peer lending. In some regions, the pie will grow, so you'll be able to access, let's say, for example, in Indonesia, most small businesses are unbanked. So if there's a way to serve them, that is actually a new pie, where it's increasing that pie, so everybody wins, essentially. In wealth, I think most Betterment customers would not have been customers of Credit Suisse or UBS. So they're not losing out, it's more money on the table. But then there's also, I think, new approaches that some of these mobile-first banks are taking in Europe, where they might decide not to build in-house capabilities for credit. They might say, well, for credit, we're offering that through Lending Club. So more of a collaborative, almost like an app store bank. And whether existing banks are forced into that model, I think, is an interesting question through, let's say, price competition or margin, cost of legislation, cost of regulation, etc.